Across the country, we mourned the loss of civil rights leader, Baptist minister, and two-time presidential candidate, the Reverend Jesse L. Jackson, who passed away at 84 years old.
A man whose activism has been felt across generations and led him to the Good Life City. WALB's Brittany Blake sits down with community historian Frank Wilson.
Arriving at North Carolina A&T in Greensboro in 1960, just months after students there launched sit-ins at a whites-only diner, Jesse Louis Jackson immersed himself in the blossoming civil rights movement. And by 1965, he joined the voting rights march Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. led. Following Dr. King's assassination in 1968, Reverend Jesse Jackson would continue his fight, bringing him to the Good Life City in the early 70s.
Reverend Jackson kind of came not a part of his entourage. Reverend Jackson kind of came as a part of a voter registration movement because at that time he was transitioning from Operation Breadbasket into the Push Coalition, People United to Save Humanity, and so Jesse was pushing that initiative. This picture with me, he came to Albany in a voter registration campaign, and being my good frat brother, we don't let a brother come to town without giving him a pen. At that time, I was boss of the chapter here, and we invited him, and he was at Albany State, and we were on the program to pin him.
So for you, being a part of that history, not just meeting Reverend Jackson, but also just being able to tell those stories now, why that's so important, especially today as we reflect on the work that Reverend Jackson has done?
I think it's important because a lot of the work that Jesse and others did, Hosea Williams, it's not in books. And the more folk are beginning to try to distort and destroy our history, storytellers like myself and others in town, Clinton King and Sherelle Bird and others, it's important that we tell these stories as often as we can because they are an important part of the fabric, not only for Black America, but for America.
And despite profound health challenges in his final years, including a rare neurological disorder that affected his ability to move and speak, Jackson continued protesting against racial injustice across the country and decades of activism that tie to Albany.
Albanians don't always appreciate the value of the history of Albany. And what I often try to stress, there is a tremendous history of Albany that has nothing to do with the Albany movement. No doubt the Albany movement was a very key part of Albany, but there are some historic factors that you never hear about.
A historical imprint left by Reverend Jackson across the nation and here in Southwest Georgia. Brittany Blake for WALB, your hometown news source.
Now, we saw there Frank Wilson holding a picture of the Reverend Jesse Jackson when he visited Albany State University. That is when Dr. Portia Holmes Shields served as president. I had the opportunity to interview Reverend Jackson on Dialogue.
That's incredible, Carla. What a neat opportunity.
That is a memory,
indeed.
yes.
And both of his sons have served in Congress, such a legacy that he leaves behind.
Very much so, very much so.